Hello, I'm Betsy DeBord, and welcome to West Virginia Press InSight, a news program that focuses on policy and impact, not politics or personalities. Today we're looking at the following issues: the top news stories across West Virginia, West Virginia's campaign finance reporting system, the West Virginia Ready Graduate Program, Appalachian's Future Exhibit at WVU, and in our tourism segment, skiing in West Virginia. Hi, I'm Betsy DeBord, and this is West Virginia Press InSight. Across West Virginia, newspapers cover issues that impact residents and shape the future of the state. Today we are highlighting 5 recent articles of statewide interest. The first is Charles Booth's article in the Bluefield Daily Telegraph looking at overcrowding in our jails. Also, Jocelyn King's article in the Intelligencer of Wheeling looks at a plan to extend Interstate 68 into Marshall County. Jordan Nelson's article in the Register Herald of Beckley examines an enrollment drop of 1.9% at West Virginia's universities and colleges. Jake Zuckerman's article in the Charleston Gazette-Mail looks at the controversy surrounding a photo of West Virginia correctional officers giving an apparent Nazi salute. And finally, another Jake Zuckerman article in the Charleston Gazette-Mail looks at the cost of investigating the performance of West Virginia's state troopers. You can find these articles on each newspaper's website or on wvpress.org.
Hello, I'm Don Smith, Executive Director of the West Virginia Press Association, and today we welcome West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner to talk about the state's campaign finance reporting system. Welcome, Mr. Secretary.
Hey, it's good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Recently, your office partnered with the Press Association to host a webinar to help the state's media use the new system. And I was impressed at how thorough it is and how accessible it is, not just to the media, but to the general public.
We're quite proud of the system. It's out there on the front end of where we are across the nation with regards to campaign finance reporting. And we've just made it as easy as possible for the consumer, or for the candidates, for anybody searching to know who has donated to a campaign or how money has been spent. And so we invite everybody to the site. Go vote WV, and you can look and see where the money is coming from and where it's going.
And I guess, Mr. Secretary, the first thing we probably should just touch on is why it's important that they know that, because there's a lot of money comes into these elections.
Well, and that's what everybody wants to know, is who is behind the candidates, where are the candidates spending the money, and so on. And so the whole idea, previously, there were 2 parts to this. One was who was giving it and where it was going. The second part is how often that was getting reported to the public, and it was just on a yearly basis. And then you had the reporting right before the primary and right before the general. But by that time, the campaign's over, and people are already making their decisions. So what we've gone to, and the legislature passed this last year, it went into effect June 7th of this year, 2019. So we're operating under the new law right now, and it's a quarterly report. So 4 times a year, the candidates. It's more work on the candidates, but it's also getting that information out to the public on when they want to know it. Mm-hmm. And then you still have that report before the primary and before the general that we had before. So it's adding more transparency. The whole idea behind campaign financing is the transparency of it, getting it to the public so they can make informed decisions as they go to the polls to vote.
All right, and this system, not does it show who gets money and who gives the money, but it shows where they spend the money. So if someone is saying, boy, there are a lot of ads being ran for this candidate, you can look and see where the expenditure are and say, okay, well, that came from the candidate or it came from a PAC. Exactly. These issues are being addressed because these people are interested.
Right. Correct? That's exactly right. So some money is being spent for issues, others is on a candidate. And then is it a person that is spending that? Is it a PAC? Is it the candidate themselves? And all that now is available to people. We are all living in this digital age, and we have now made campaign financing accessible in this digital age. All it is get online and look. You can look 24 hours a day. Anybody can. You don't have to go through the Secretary of State's office. You don't have to have permission. You can go online and get the information you're looking for.
I do want to talk more about the information, but I think that's one thing, things that are important. It was, if I understand right, a bipartisan vote on this, and no matter how they feel about you or another Secretary of State or any other politician, someone can go to this system totally in private and look and see what's going on, correct?
Right. And the neat thing here is it's not just about the candidates or the campaigns. Let's say there's a wealthy person and they're giving money, and you want to say, I want to see where John Doe, who all he's giving to. And you can search by John Doe and see where he's giving money. So it goes both ways. It's showing where the candidates, who they're getting the money from and where they're spending it, where the PACs are, where they're spending their money, and then a particular person, where they're spending their money, who they're donating to.
I thought it was really effective too, that you don't even have to necessarily know who you're researching. You can go to the district. You can say who's spending money in this district. So sometimes you think, well, I have no idea who to search. I mean, I know the candidate, but I don't know any of the PACs, or I don't know the donors. Right. But you can look and see where that money's being spent, and the system populates that for you.
And that's what we're trying to do, is make it as many different ways as you may want to search this. We've tried to do that. So if somebody has an idea of how to search something and they can't find it, please let us know, and we'll see what we can do. I think this is perhaps one of the most transparent in the whole nation, what we've done here with the West Virginia law in just the last year. And then the office has responded to put that online in a digital format that people can research easily.
And you have gotten some recognition, haven't you, Mr. Secretary, for the development of this system? I mean,
exactly.
You are sharing it with other. I mean, this problem or this interest. I mean, it's not a problem, but this interest is a national interest, and other states are trying to do the same thing. So you work on a national level, correct?
It is. There's concern over dark money, money that's coming into a campaign and people don't know where it's coming from. Or the problem was before is it was getting reported, but it was getting reported after the fact, right at the last minute, or even after the campaign was over. So, but by that time, somebody's been elected or not been elected, and it's too late. So that's why we went to the quarterly reporting requirement.
And there is a financial penalty if they're late in filing.
There was another significant thing. Before, it was always left up to the judgment of somebody in the elections office, the Secretary of State, whether to impose those penalties or not. We wrote it into the law that there's a mandatory $10 a day late fee if you don't file your reports on time. We want those candidates to report to the public online so people have access to it. So the discretion is taken out of it. You get imposed with a $10 fee, and that's paid by the candidate themselves, not by the campaign. So it's, again, an incentive to get the candidates to be responsive and to get the campaigns responsive to the new law.
Very good. And I know there are people think, well, $10 is that much? But I think it's also the awareness that this candidate didn't file.
Right.
That this candidate is ultimately responsible for this information and his campaign being there.
And it looks bad. If you don't file online, what are you going to be doing with the state's money when you're in office? So it's a responsibility issue that I think now that the law is written and we've made everybody aware of it, we want them responding and making those campaign finances, both the donations coming in and the expenditures going out, open to the public.
I know your staff was very helpful to the media, and will be available going forward. But if the general public gets on there and has a problem, there is a mechanism they can ask a question, send something in, or call, correct?
Right. They can. I always make the office available to the public. Please call into the office. We have field representatives throughout the state. If you want somebody to come and actually sit down with you, you can let us know, and we will put that field representative in your office or respond. So please, we stress customer relations and customer service throughout our office, not just in elections, but in business and licensing. And please use the office. Call us if you have a problem or an issue with the new system.
Great. And the election information, you mentioned the website govotewv.com.
Correct.
So if they go there, they'll be able to look down through the drop-down menus and find what they want to look at and go on. But there's a lot of other information on that website.
Sure, there sure is. And they can also reach it through the regular West Virginia Secretary of State website, wvsos.gov. Either one will get you into the system.
Very good, very good. We're only less than a month away from the start of the next session, and in terms of elections, I think January 13th is the opening for candidate filings.
That's correct.
So about a month away.
Exactly.
And right now they are pre-candidates, correct?
Yes.
Until they file on the 20th.
Correct. And by filing those pre-candidacy papers, that allows you to start gathering your money, collecting donations, making expenditures, and so forth. So
checking interest into support and all that type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that opening goes from the 13th of January to the 25th of January. And we will be open on the Saturday in between, as well as Saturday the 25th. The first Saturday is we're open till noon, and then on the 25th we're open till 11:59 p.m. That's,
so that's about a 2-week window for candidates to get the official filings done.
It is, yes.
Okay. And then after that point, when people come to the site, they're going to see everybody who's filed.
That's right.
Okay, so all the mystery of who's going to run where will be over on January 25th.
That's correct.
Okay, great. Now you have, your main office is in Charleston, but there are other locations around the state too, right?
We have 2 business hubs, one in Clarksburg and then one in Martinsburg. And so, and those are full service operations. So anything that you can do in the Charleston office, you should be able to do in either Clarksburg or Martinsburg. And we did that to get these throughout the state. There's so much activity going on, growth out in the Eastern Panhandle. That's why we opened up the one there. And then we are co-located with the auditor's office in Clarksburg on Main Street, right across the street from the tax department. So you should be able to park in one place and take care of business in all those government agencies.
I served as editor of the Journal in Martinsburg for a couple years, and I know that was one of the complaints from people in the Eastern Panhandle. And I was born in the Northern Panhandle. I lived there for a lot of years. That was a complaint in that area. It was such a trip to Charleston if you had to do this. By having these offices and cutting that trip down, that's a real convenience. Plus the online, you can almost do everything online now.
You can, but nothing replaces that personal contact, and that's why we opened up that office. It's at the train station there in Martinsburg, and there's been quite a bit of goodwill, I think, generated by opening that office, because again, so much activity does take place in the Eastern Panhandle, but it's a recognition that the government here in Charleston does recognize the significance of what's going on in the Eastern Panhandle. So we're just proud to have gotten that accomplished. And
Right.
we've done it without extra money, and we've done it without increasing our personnel. We've in fact decreased the personnel in West Virginia Secretary of State's office by 15%. So we're doing more with less. And that's the benefit of going digital and using today's technology. It makes things easier for the customers, for the citizens of West Virginia. It makes it less costly. It makes it more transparent, and we're reducing the workload and the cost of running government.
And transparency has been a big thing, and we appreciate that. Again, this website makes it much easier for the media to search and for people to look at. And for our viewers, I want to make sure, Mr. Secretary, you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but the primary election in West Virginia is May 12th, correct?
Yes, May 12th, and then November 3rd is the general.
In the general. And the last day to register to vote in West Virginia is April 21st.
And an important point on that primary, remember that is the general election for the judicial offices, because those are nonpartisan. So the Supreme Court, Circuit Court, those are elected on in the May election. So it's very important for people. Don't just take a primary for granted or blow it off. Go vote, because that's where the Supreme Court justices will be elected.
I didn't realize that. I knew they were nonpartisan. I didn't realize the May election was the key. Okay, and again, for you at home, the website's wvsos.gov. Go there to see the full website for the Secretary of State. And then on the govotewv.com is a shortcut into the election stuff. We encourage you to go look at the campaign finance reporting system and the listing of candidates and get involved. And as the Secretary says, please go vote. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Betsy DeBord, and this is West Virginia Press InSight. In our WVU moment, April Call takes us to the Appalachian Futures Exhibit hosted by WVU Libraries.
I'm April Call. I'm on the downtown campus of West Virginia University inside the Wise Library, and today I'm here with Sally Deskins from WVU Libraries. We're here to talk about an exciting new exhibit called Appalachian Futures. What's it all about?
Appalachian Futures is a huge exhibit of over 50 contributors from around the region, from the arts to scholarship and WVU faculty to student projects. And social media innovators. It's just a very diverse, huge exhibit that takes over our first floor up to our atrium.
It started in early September. It's going to continue through the rest of this year. Tell me a little bit about your favorite part of the exhibit, or things that people have told you they're most drawn to as they look at it.
I think, at least for the stop here at the downtown campus library, the speculative futures, which is what we're standing in front of, is really exciting because there's visual art, there's something about Fallout, which is a video game about West Virginia, there's graphic novels, so it's really exciting, and upstairs in the atrium is a really cool visual art exhibit.
Why is it so important to talk about the future of Appalachia? You know, every time we hear the word Appalachia, it seems like we're talking about our culture, our history, the past, but this is focusing on the future of the region.
Right, and that's exactly why, because there's so much focus on the past, and so we wanted to look forward. We wanted to take the past and be proud of it and learn from it and see what's going to happen next and focus on that and the positives of that and what can happen in a good way.
And why is that so important, especially right now?
Because a lot of the national media or outside media tend to look at us with a certain perspective, so it's really important for the people around here to speak for themselves and document their own history and potential future.
Sally, thank you very much for spending some time with us. If you'd like to check out the Appalachian Futures Exhibit, it's on display, as I said, through the end of the year. Check it out right here in the downtown campus Wise Library. And you can always find out what's happening on the WVU campus at our website. Just visit wvutoday.wvu.edu.
Hello, I'm Don Smith, Executive Director of the West Virginia Press Association. Today we talk with Amelia Courts, President and CEO of the Education Alliance and the West Virginia Ready Graduate Program. Amelia, welcome.
Thank you, Don.
We're really excited about this program. We've been working and following it along, and I think it's an interesting initiative for all parents and students and businesses in West Virginia. Tell us a little bit about your goal for the program, what you envision this program achieving.
Sure. Well, the Education Alliance, as you know, is a statewide nonprofit organization that brings business and community support to public education. So in 2018, we sat down with a lot of business leaders and said, what are those knowledge, skills, and dispositions that we think graduates need to be successful in today's world? And they outlined those for us very succinctly and clearly, and that became the West Virginia Ready Graduate, the portrait of those skill sets. So our goals for this program are twofold. First of all, we really want students, we want families and educators to be aware and to engage with the portrait of a graduate, to have conversations at the dinner table about those skill sets. You know, how is my child developing in terms of their communication skills, their problem-solving skills? So awareness is a big goal for this program, and thus we're happy that we're talking to you. But the second goal is to take action. What are those steps that we can do as educators, as business leaders, to help our students develop those skill sets?
Well, I like the part of the program too, because if you go to the website, wvgraduate.com, you'll see the list of the items that make up the portrait of a ready grad. And they're not, I mean, certainly there are things that the student can work on, the family can work on, the business can provide opportunities. I mean, some of them are being well spoken. Things like some of them are very simple, some of them are more complicated, but they're all things that can be, can be addressed. Certainly, improving your reading and math skills comes under the education, but you can look at the adaptability, self-awareness, self-confidence. Those are things that the student almost has to work on their own and with their family. So I think it is sort of a self-help, self-preparation type of program.
Well, it's certainly something that everyone can play a role in. We want students to be aware and to, especially as they progress through their education, to have ownership of that personal growth, that they need to understand these are the skills that I'm trying to develop as an individual. But we think there's a role for everyone to play. We certainly know that our educators are working hard to develop some of those skills. You talked about reading and math, and the other content areas are foundational to learning. You can't be a good communicator if you don't have content there to communicate. But really it does take everyone, and it also takes a new way of looking at these expectations. We know with the evolution of technology and our economy, the skill sets that were vital 50 years ago are not necessarily those that are priorities today. So we're hoping that people understand that, and that we can all contribute to helping our students really be ready for success.
Well, a lot of it too, I think, what I liked about this program is you're not waiting for that trap that, well, I graduated, now I better get ready to figure out what I'm going to do. Whether that's at the high school level or even at the college level, it's like, oh, I need to think and prepare myself for after graduation. What are the students that you're focusing on with this group? When would you like to get them involved and start working with them?
Well, actually, we think that it begins at birth, but certainly as students enter middle school and high school, the role of the student becomes much more important. The adults are primarily the caretakers and the educators in those early years, but in middle and high school, students begin to think about the future.
Right.
As you said, they begin to think about life after high school. We want them to ignite their passions, to have dreams for their future beyond high school, and then to really start thinking about what are those skill sets, what are those next steps that I need to take to be ready for success.
We know there will be some jobs, a lot of jobs, hopefully in West Virginia, that while they may take some, they may not require a 4-year program, it may be a 2-year program, but these students can help themselves be successful in finding those and moving on, whether it's to a 2-year program, a 4-year program, or entering the workforce. But the skill sets in this portrait will benefit them not only at that point, but the rest of their life.
Absolutely, and that's the other thing that's really exciting is the opportunity for the business community to step up and be a partner in this role. Businesses can do very tangible things like offer job shadowing or internships, be a guest speaker, work with teachers to do project-based learning. There are real concrete opportunities for the business community to step in and be a partner, again, to help students develop these outcomes.
Yeah, I think that's neat. One of the goals of the program, it's not awareness. I mean, certainly those are goals, but the final goal is that these students end up in the workforce or in West Virginia, whether it's after graduation from college or high school, but that this program enables them to be more successful. That is the ultimate goal, correct?
Absolutely. We know there's a disconnect. A lot of businesses say they need more workers, and there are job vacancies here in West Virginia. And then on the other hand, some students and families may perceive that there aren't any opportunities. So bridging that disconnect, helping students understand there are opportunities, there are meaningful career pathways for their future is really what this is all about.
Right. Now, again, I want to mention the website, so because you can go as a student, as a parent, as a business, as an educator, you can go to the website, wvgraduate.com, and it's set up basically in 3 silos, depending if you're a student, a business, or an educator. And I guess with the students, the parents can go there and look with them.
Yep.
And it shows how you engage, what you can do, offers assistance and insight for all 3 that then down the line brings those together through internships, through trainings, through all the other things you've mentioned. So again, that's wvgraduate.com. That's where you find the information. But you guys are taking this on the road, correct? You're going around the state to help promote this.
Absolutely. We have champions across West Virginia that have said, hey, we want to be a part of this. We want to share this with our local community. So we have upcoming speaking engagements in Morgantown, in the Eastern Panhandle, in southern West Virginia, and here in the Kanawha Valley. So there will be opportunities not just to visit the website, but also to hear firsthand from some of our business leaders and our champions about their role in supporting the effort.
And I know that there has been support for the effort through the Champion Volunteers for other companies. Toyota was one of your big supporters that brought students in to let them intern there. That's building now, I take it?
Absolutely. Yes, we had three businesses partner with us in 2019. Toyota, Appalachian Power, and Cabell Huntington Hospital. So our three biggest employment opportunities, healthcare, manufacturing, energy, were all represented. They said, we want to be a part. We want to give students real-world learning opportunities through a 4-week paid summer internship for juniors and high school seniors. That was a phenomenal success in 2019, and now we're expanding that across the state.
Great. I attended the Education Alliance has an annual summit, and I was able to, luckily enough, to attend that, and I heard the presentations. What was the feedback you got? There must have been 200 professionals there. What was the feedback like that you heard from those people in the program?
Well, first of all, I think the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. The participants said, we appreciate the opportunity to dialogue. A lot of times educators will attend an education conference and maybe talk about business, or business leaders will attend a business conference and talk about education. This had everyone at the table. There was real meaningful dialogue, and then we heard from some national leaders about how we could work together to, again, develop West Virginia Ready graduate partnerships and support these kinds of outcomes.
Well, great. Again, the website is wvgraduate.com. I encourage business people to go look at it. I encourage educators to look at it. I especially encourage students and parents to go and look. I know as a first-generation college student myself, when I graduated high school, I really wasn't prepared to go out into the world. And my family, it wasn't something that we sat around and talked about. I think this website and that silo of information for parents and students would be a great opportunity in a relaxed setting at home at your own pace to look over that and to talk and see, hey, are you doing this, or can we help with this? So I think it's a great way for parents to start the conversation with your students, and for students to bring up some things that maybe your parents aren't aware of. And I think it moves you on the right course, and the awareness is great. So Amelia, we really thank you for this effort and your time today. Anything in terms of coming up, they can look at city councils, Board of Education, a lot of places you guys will be appearing, correct?
Absolutely. We'll have all of those dates and venues listed on the website, so they can go there for more information. I would just say get involved. We're here to help. We would love to connect you if you'd like to learn more or to become a partner.
And all this will be covered in the West Virginia newspapers around the state, so you'll know when you're in your area, you can go see them, or you can follow it in your paper afterwards. Amelia, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Betsy DeBord, and this is West Virginia Press InSight. In our tourism segment, we look at skiing in West Virginia. The ski season gains momentum this month with 3 resorts open: Canaan Valley Ski Area in Tucker County, Winter Place Ski Resort in Raleigh County, and Snowshoe Mountain in Pocahontas County. With student and other specials available, West Virginia offers varied and affordable skiing. See you on the slopes.